Hello and welcome to my channel. I'm the Sports Guru 716 and I hope you enjoyed today's episode of Spitting the Truth. Today I intend on talking about Jaromir Jagr and his impact and where I think he ranks all time. I am going based off of common knowledge, not necessarily exact statistics. I could pull them up, but at the same time I like to do these off the cuff if you enjoy that sort of content. Comment down below with any thoughts on Jagr as I talk, and I will reply to all comments. And yeah, so now the reason why I want to talk about Jaromir Jagr, as a Buffalo Sabres fan, I was hoping we'd get him in the offseason, even though it looks like what he did in Florida has proven to be something that would have hurt us in terms of the quest for Matthews, I guess we could say. But Jagr has always been one of the greatest of all time. And I think that it's showing more and more, and it's kind of coming up on me very fast that this player is actually one of the greatest players of all time. And I didn't really notice. Maybe I was part of the minority where I didn't think I maybe took him for granted because I knew he was a great player with Mario Lemieux and Martin Straka and Kevin Stevens and Ron Francis and all those guys. And then you think to yourself, well, damn, he went from there. He went to Washington with Peter Bondra, went to the Rangers with Alex Kovalev, and then he goes to Philly and Dallas and New Jersey, and then ends his career right now in Florida, but he intends on playing till he's 50 years old, and that's something that he is proving every day that he may be able to do, and I think that plays a part in his status of one of the greats of all time. You look at it, third all time in goals. He's significantly back of the great one, Wayne Gretzky, and Wayne Gretzky's record may never be broken, and I understand that completely. Jagr would need to keep up this pace for 7 more seasons until he's 50 or 51 before he could pass Gretzky, and I don't think that's really possible, and I think that we all can agree that that really isn't going to happen, and in points there's no way he's going to pass Gretzky either. And I think at that point you have to think to yourself, well, then he very well may finish second in goals. And that is incredible, passing Gordie Howe. And he, if he plays till he's 50, all of a sudden you think to yourself, I know he's not rough like Gordie Howe, but he's like the Gordie Howe of our era. He's playing until he can't play anymore, but he's playing at a high level. It's not like he's like Chris Chelios a few years ago where he was playing in the AHL to just keep playing. Jaromir is like, well, if they don't want me here, I'll go back home and play. But I'm going to play until my body doesn't let me. And if you can tell by his stats this season, he is capable of playing in the NHL still at a high level. A lot of teams could use him, and I think Florida really won that trade with New Jersey. New Jersey traded him to Florida, and everyone was like, well, what are you doing? Why are you getting this old man on your team? And I realized it this season when I was watching a Sabres-Panthers game, and you saw during a TV timeout they showed a replay of Jagr, I believe, talking to Ekblad and Kulikov or Petrovic. I knew Ekblad was one of the two, and he was instructing them on how to play their position. This is a forward instructing a very young defenseman on how to play their position, and Florida has been lights out by comparison with Jagr since they got Jagr, they've been much, much better than before Jagr. And I think this is a perfect example of how much Jagr has an impact on the team. And I don't want to really make this necessarily about his impact on Florida, but I feel it's part of the conversation with one of the greats of all time and where he ranks, because the way he is impacting Florida is incredible. This is something you don't see many players do. Now, I don't really, I don't have it in my memory bank because I was so young that Wayne Gretzky was helping the Blues and the Rangers win in the playoffs and things like that, leading young teams. I'm not sure about that, but, you take Jagr and you put him in a situation like this where he's 44 years old. He's been in the NHL longer than half of the players on his team have been alive. They're like his kids. They're like his family. These guys are like his kids. Alex Barkov, John Huberdeau, Riley Smith, Aaron Ekblad. You've got all these guys. You can go down a list of guys, and you say to yourself, "Wow, these guys are like Jagr's kids to him." He's like babysitting, and the guy's not married. He's got a family in the locker room, and I think that the way he keeps his body in the shape that he does and is able to compete at the level that he does still to this day is just absolutely incredible. You don't see that anymore. And you don't see players dedicated to this point. I remember after the Super Bowl, someone asked him about Peyton Manning and how do you feel about Peyton Manning retiring after he won a Super Bowl? And he's like, why would he do that? He's like, what do you mean, why would he do that? He's like, if you won a Super Bowl, obviously you're still good. You should still play. Why not still play? You're still good enough to win a Super Bowl. You still should be able to play. And obviously he may not have known that Manning was playing with pretty much a bum neck that could be career-ending, if not life-threatening. But I think the point is there. He's like, until I can't play anymore, I'm going to keep playing, regardless if I win a championship or not. And that's the cool thing. That's why I think he'll go down as he is already one of the greatest of all time. And I think a lot of people are taking for granted. I think when you see Jagr play, you should go out of your way to watch a Florida game. Once in a while for the end of the season, maybe one or two, and you just watch it for Jagr because he may not be around very long, and he is literally one of the greatest players of all time, and I think that's being overlooked, and I keep mentioning it, but he literally is the third best goal scorer, according to numbers, according to career goals, all time. The next guy is maybe Ovechkin, active as Ovechkin, or Ginla, but Ovechkin is the type of goal scorer Jagr is. He may be able to get up there high up in the goal totals, and you think to yourself, well, is Jagr that good? Look at him. A lot of the kids now, it's funny that the generation that's coming up in hockey right now, they're seeing Jaromir Jagr as a 60-point guy. I remember Jagr as a 120-point guy. I remember Jagr when he went to the KHL and everybody got upset, and think about that. I wanted to talk about this in this video, and I kind of forgot. He went to the KHL for a couple seasons in his prime. Imagine if he hadn't done that. He would definitely be second in goals all time right now. And I think with those 60 goals extra, maybe 60, 70, 80 goals extra, you have to think to yourself, he may have had a chance at the record of most goals all time. And you have to just consider that for a second. If he doesn't go to the KHL for a couple of years, he may have broken the goals record, which a lot of people feel can never be touched. So, this is really, really interesting to think about. I thought it was interesting. I want to make a video about it all week. I've been thinking about how am I going to do this Jaromir Jagr video and make people want to watch it. But if you've gotten this far, comment down below if you agree with me, or if give me your top 5 players of all time. I'd say it goes Orr, Gretzky, Lemieux. So Orr, Gretzky, Lemieux. I'm going to put Howe at 4. I think longevity matters, and he was a complete player, more than a lot of other players were. So you got Orr, Gretzky, Lemieux, Howe. And let's go with Patrick Waugh. We'll go with the goalie in there at number 5. Comment down below what your top 5 players of all time are. And, maybe we'll have a lot of similarities, maybe we'll have a lot of differences. If you hate mine, post down below. It'll be hard. It's hard to say a player's better than Wayne Gretzky, but I think if there's one player, it's Bobby Orr, because how many defensemen can do what he did? Not many. And maybe Erik Karlsson of today could have been Bobby Orr of yesterday, but he's not. So that's a thing. So with that, I am going to end this video. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did enjoy, give it a like. If you want to see future content, subscribe. I'm going to be talking, about the things that are kind of important to me. Not necessarily what's important to me, but what's commonly talked about. I'll look at ESPN and be like, well, what's popular right now? But I oftentimes will cover hockey, football, NASCAR. I want to do a little bit of boxing. I like boxing. and I want to do a little bit of esports, because I think esports are going to be very big coming up soon in the next couple of years, and I just kind of want to get interested in it and see what's going to go on with it. I think there's a lot of potential, but thank you for watching, and I hope to see you again soon.